And you can decide, I'm going to be kind. And that's going to be part of how I go through the world. Because the more kind that you show, the more compassion you show to other people, it comes back to you. The next letter is L. L is for learning. You have to be a lifelong learner. You have to be a lifelong learner, and listen, learning doesn't stop just because you get your certificate at school or you go to university. People often say to me, Dr. Defoe, you always taking a class, always learning something. You always going to a workshop. You always doing this. You have a PhD. Why are you still learning? While I'm talking to you right now, some new information is coming out. We are in a knowledge society. You all know that if you pull out your phones and Google, there's so many hits. There's millions and millions of hits. We are in a global world. We're in a knowledge society. And so learning doesn't stop when you get your education, because you can learn something every day. And so L is for learning. M is for mastery. Decide what you're going to be a master in. Maybe you're going to be a master. Maybe you're going to be a master a music director. Maybe you're going to be a master fashion designer. Whatever it is in your heart that you're going to be, master it. Master it. Become good at it. Become an expert at it. Whatever it is you choose for your career path, whatever you decide is going to be your life work. Because everybody in this room is an entrepreneur. You may not realize it, but all of you, as you grow and you go out in the world, everybody in the room is business. You're in business. And people often don't understand that, but you're in business. Because when you go for a job, you will be selling your skills and your time to an employer. You're in business, but people don't have that mindset. And so you have to think about it. If you would Google right now, employers say they want workers with entrepreneur mindsets. And entrepreneurs are always looking for new products, new services, things that they can create. And when you look at what people say they want, the employees, when they want to hire people, they want you to have an entrepreneur mindset. So you got to think about mastery. What can I master? What am I going to be good at? What do I like to do that is going to be my career choice or my business choice? That's M. N. N stands for be noble. Do noble things. And when you do noble things, no matter whatever you do with your career, you give back to your country. You give back to your village. You give back to the world. And when you use your gifts and your talents in service to mankind, you will be amazed at the opportunities and the goodness that will come your way. And sometimes that may mean sacrificing something. It may be going the extra mile. And right now, as a young person, it may be, helping someone sick in your community. It might be helping someone carry a bag in the house. It's the simple things that can help somebody else. When you think about being noble, and being noble to help others, that is one of the greatest gifts that you have. The next letter is O. O is for opportunity. Opportunities will come your way, but you got to be ready. You got to be prepared. And you got to have your eyes wide open when you see an opportunity. The opportunities come your way, and you got to ask yourself, am I going to take take advantage of this opportunity. Many times people don't accomplish what they want because when the opportunity comes, they're not ready, they let it slip by, or they didn't recognize it. So you gotta have your eyes open for opportunities. Opportunities is your gateway to achieve whatever it is your goal and your success. P, the letter P stands for purpose. You gotta have purpose in your life. If you don't have purpose, you're lost. And people in life that don't have purpose, they just go from thing to thing and they accomplish nothing. You gotta find that purpose. And that purpose will help to guide you. And that purpose will help you to maximize your gifts, your talents, and your learning. Find purpose. One of the greatest gifts that I feel that I found for myself was purpose. And sometimes for some people it's hard for them. They can't find a purpose. They can't find something they're interested in. And when you find purpose, then it helps you to take your gifts, your talents, your education, better life for your family and for others. Find purpose. You need to write books, to create software apps, to travel from place. So, the next few, be up. For growth. Q stands for QYEST, quest. Be on a quest. Be on a quest to be who? Quest. You're supposed to do it. Quest. So you, what is my to do? To make me, yeah, am I supposed to create software apps? What is it that I'm supposed to do? You would need to be on the quest each and every day. The letter R stands for resiliency. Resiliency. And resiliency is RESILENCY. And resiliency is a word that means be able to bounce back. So in life, sometimes we have a challenge. Sometimes things don't go the way that we thought. Sometimes, we have a dream and we want something and it doesn't happen when we think it was supposed to happen, and we get discouraged. When things don't happen, or when something happens, and as humans we call it failure. Failure is not a word I want you to have in your vocabulary. When something doesn't work out the way that you thought, what I want you to do is get in the habit of looking at it and evaluating it and look at the steps and see what you need to change. People will tell you, successful people will tell you, their greatest learning is from their challenges. Not when they were accepting the award and getting their picture taken. People learn through challenges. Just like diamonds are made through pressure from the cold, we become our best self through pressure. So resiliency means, yes, you challenge. Sometimes you may have opportunities that come, but you're able to bounce back. You learn from what happened. Because too many times when things happen to people and it doesn't go the way that they thought it was going to be, they relive that over and over and over. It's like they pushing the replay button. And every time something in their life happens, and I've seen something that happened in their childhood, and they still holding on to it as an adult. So you want to determine, you want to work on being resilient. Yes, you gonna find challenges in life, you gonna face them, but if you learn how to dust yourself off, pick yourself up, get back up. I don't care how many times you get knocked down, you will prevail. Because I'm here to tell you, I do a lot of research, and you can Google, you don't need not to believe Dr. Before, you can research it for yourself. People think that raw intelligence is what makes people successful. But I'm sure everybody in this room knows somebody that was so smart, but they didn't do anything with their life. And if it was because they had a setback and they couldn't bounce back. S. S stands for spirit. You have to guard your spirit. And you have to protect your spirit. Because we are spiritual beings having this human experience. And many times what we're able to accomplish in life is based on our spirit, how we feeling. And so you got to work on protecting your spirit. Protecting your spirit is tied to your heart. And how you feeling. You can't let people make you feel bad about yourself. You can't let people talk down to you. You got to walk around with this spirit, knowing how magnificent you are, how divine you are, how special you are. You are a special spirit, and you got to know that, and you got to protect it. T stands for time. T-I-M-E. And I want you to write this down, 86,400. Everybody gets 86,400 seconds each and every day. But you have to ask yourself, am I wasting my 86,400 seconds or am I using them? Because think about it, when the day is gone, when this day is gone, you can't roll it over like you might roll over the minutes on your phone. You can't roll over the day. When it's gone. And so if you use it with purpose, that's it. Remember, you get those 10 seconds each and every. I don't care where anybody is in the globe, where they live, they get 86,400 seconds. Stand yourself and try to stand other people. We're not even listening to what they say. We conversation trying to figure out what we gonna say in response. We not even listening. We don't pay attention. And more that you look to understand other people. But first you gotta understand yourself. So many people don't understand themselves. They don't know themselves, so that's why they often fall for anything. If you don't understand yourself, people can tell you anything, sometimes get you to do anything. You gotta know yourself and respect yourself. But it begins with understanding yourself. And it's beginning with understanding that perfection doesn't exist. Think about themselves. Perfection does not exist. Everybody has opportunities for growth. So once you can accept yourself and understand that perfection doesn't exist, throughout our life, we always have opportunities for growth. You gotta understand and you gotta love yourself each and every day. V is for values. What are your values? Do you value honesty? Do you value being honest? People, they perpetrate fraud and they're not even who they pretend to be. And right now with social media, people get on Facebook, they get on TikTok, they get on all of the apps and they can make themselves sound like whatever they wanted to do. They catfish people. They can do all of this stuff online. But in the end, that's not how you want to live. You want to have values. Sometimes so many people have told so many stories about who they are that they confused. They don't even know who they are anymore. They can't even keep up with the stories they told. Have values and stick to your values. And many times people might try to get you to follow the crowd. The most courage it takes is following yourself. Don't get caught up with following the crowd. It takes courage to be you. If you can be the best you can be, you have done a lot. Because too many times people are scared to be themselves. They feel like they got to follow the crowd. And they often let the crowd lead them down the wrong path. No, be strong. Be strong, brothers and sisters. You are the young leaders. Don't let somebody lead you down a dark alley. Next letter. We did V. We did W. W is wisdom. Always be looking to gain wisdom. There's one thing about learning education, but wisdom is another thing. Wisdom you learn from life lessons. You learn, often the elders will tell you things because they want you to learn from that. Don't get education, book learning, confused with wisdom. Wisdom is when you learn a life lesson and then you make that change in your life and then you do better. Many times people don't use the wisdom and they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and they wonder why. Wisdom is learning and applying it to your life. Wisdom is a powerful tool. X is X-ray. Looking within. Introspection. You know, much of what we accomplish is what we believe inside. You know, many times people are confused, and too often when people don't know who they are, they think if I got the designer sneakers, if I got the designer, if I got the designer pocketbook, if I got this and that, if I got all these trappings, those things do not define you and they won't make you feel good about yourself. Those things will not make you happy. My last two letters. I see I lost the video. Are you still hearing me?
Yes.
E-A-R-N. And yearn means to have a desire for something. So, what is your desire for your life? How do you see your life going? You should have a life plan. You should have your goal book. You should write down what it is you want to accomplish in your education. What do you see? You define when you visualize it and you see it before you accomplish it. It's like we manifested. It helps you to focus. So what do you yearn for in your work, in your life? That is what Y stands for. And Z stands for zeal. Z-E-A-L. Have a zeal. Zeal means excitement. You should be excited for learning. Excited to come to school. Excited to think about your career, your aspirations, what it is you want to accomplish. Because you have to always remember that success is inside each one of you. It's for you to choose to grab it. It's for you to choose to manifest it. Because I keep telling people, the only person that can block your success, block your opportunity, is that face that you greet in the mirror when you get ready for school. That's the only person that can stop you. Because people can want for you, people can see the potential in you, but they can't make you put out the effort. So you got to decide, and you have to decide each and every day what you're going to work for, what you want. Because Leading, and all of you are future leaders. Leadership starts with leading yourself, and leading yourself is the hardest thing around because it is difficult, and you have to decide how you're going to lead yourself. And you have to listen to your inner guide. Just like you know wrong or right, your inner guide will tell you the right thing to you. And your inner guide is your conscience, it's your spirit. It tells you. And you have to listen to it. And it will not lead you astray. I'm going to stop there, but I wanted to share that with you. And I thank you for letting me hop in and spend this time with you. I can't wait to come back to Nigeria. I haven't been in a minute. I can't wait to go back to Nigeria. In Nigeria, I am known as Anita, first daughter of light. This is what my clan, this is what they named me. They're in Akwa Ibom. Any of you all know where Akwa Ibom is?
Yeah, Akwa Ibom State. We all know.
That's all right.
You know where Akwa Ibom? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, well, I do a lot of work in Akwa Ibom. My friend had a school there in Lagos, but I'm looking forward to coming back to Nigeria. And when I do, I have to come, I'm going to be looking for you guys. I'm going to have to come and see you. And I'm expecting to hear great things about what you all are doing. I don't expect to get any bad reports about anybody.
Okay, ma'am.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, everything you think about, everything you do in life, it goes back to leadership. Leadership is very important. Leadership, whether you lead in a company, whether you leading in your personal life, everything. And my mentor teaches us, John Maxwell, that everything begins and ends with leadership. Think about it. Your life, your career, your business. And that's the advantage of being a good leader. But the hardest thing is leading yourself. But you first got to learn how to take control of your life. That's the advantage of being a leader, is you are able to make things happen. You're able to achieve things. You're able to inspire other people. You are able to really be a blessing to people, whether in your personal life or in work. So there are many, many advantages to being a good leader and a servant leader. Because there's lots of bad leaders too. Because leadership can be good or bad. So you want to be a good leader. Being a good leader will take you far in all areas of your life.
Doctor, I want to ship in some few things before you quit. In this part of the world, this is Nigeria, though it is obvious that Nigeria is the giant of Africa, and there is no doubt about that. But especially in the continent of Africa, we have been having great challenges in the area of leadership. In Africa, we have virtually every resources available, even in our borders. And I was going through some research work some few hours ago, and I was made to realize by the speaker that Africa is the richest continent in the world. But what we lack in Africa is leadership. So,
yes,
for these brilliant young minds, I think what is the advice that you think you can actually prescribe for them to actually see themselves as agents of change, like you have said earlier, in transforming Africa through quality education? Thank you.
Well, part of the challenge you see in Mother Africa, you see it in Haiti, you see it across the Caribbean, where I live and work. People, when they are in leadership roles, they have a choice. If they're going to be an ethical servant leader and work for the greater good of the people, or if they're going to be corrupt and work for themselves. And too often you see leaders who all it is about making money and doing things for themselves or the small group that's with them. So the greatest thing that these young people can do in this room is to have values, have ethics, and not be bought by corrupt folks who come and try to buy you off. That is what has so crippled Africa, the Caribbean. People who get in leadership positions. And being a leader, a true leader, is far more than a title. Because you can have a title and can't lead yourself out of paper bag. So just because you have a title doesn't mean that you're a real leader. You have any skills as a leader. And too often you see people leading nations, and this is what has hurt Mother Africa. Too many times people who become the presidents of the countries, they sell it off. All they do is make money for themselves and line their own pockets. And they don't work for the greater good of other people. They sell out the resources. They are corrupt. And so for these young people, if you transform, if you decide, I'm going to be a good leader, I'm going to be a servant leader, I'm going to have ethics, I'm going to have morals, I'm not going to sell my people out. That's what it's going to take. That's what is going to transform. I had a colleague that I was helping him with he was working on his PhD, and his paper was about leadership in Africa, and he wrote about the corruptness, the unethical leadership in Africa, and he said if African leaders would embrace Ubuntu, and that they would take Ubuntu and let that, I am because of you. And if they thought about the greater good and not just themselves, you will see a shift. So what the young people in this room can do is decide they go operate from an ethical standpoint that they're going to work with the masses, because many times leaders forget when you don't help the least of these. Sometimes the least of these, there's an uprising, and that leads to a lot of unrest. But when you really work to help everybody in the society, everybody benefits. So you all, in your roles as leaders, don't be corrupt. Don't sell your soul to the devil. Don't sell off your country. Don't sell the resources. Decide you're going to be a good leader. You're going to have ethics, you're going to have pride, and that you're going to work for the greater good. Because there's nothing wrong with a leader making money, but everybody wants to have a good quality of life. And that is what leadership is supposed to do. So those are the things that I would suggest for this group, is to think about how you and what your values are going to be, and how you're going to operate in this life as a leader. Because leadership can be a good thing, or it can be highly negative. And that is what has plagued not only Africa, but if you look at America, America has corrupt leaders too. It's not just the continent. But when you see, when leaders are acting that way, all they do is rob the people of opportunity. They rob them of the money. They bag up the money for themselves. That's not the leader. That's not the kind of leader you want to be. That is not the leader. So that's my response to your questions. You're welcome.
Sorry.
Thank you.
All right. Just like you have said, we will be actually looking forward to having you around that next year. Like I told you about our upcoming conference that we are going to be hosting here in Nigeria in the month of May. Dr. Sherry will be coming, and some part of our stakeholders will be coming also, and we look forward to having you around.
I'm looking forward to coming back.
Okay, that's going to be awesome. And I was going through your profile, and I did make them realize that you are the executive director at the Johnson Maxwell Leadership Team. And
Yes.
I'm very elated and gratified having you on board speaking to these young minds. We have more than 30 of them. We have more than 30 of them here.
Well, this is my honor and privilege. So thank you for having me.
God bless you.
Welcome.
All right, bless you all.
Bless you too.
All right, bye.
I know that it's very possible to cut your attention at this point in time to be on our way. That how is it possible or kind of possible on my part to be privileged to stay connected with people like this? I will share something with you. My early stage in life is very challenging. I'm talking about my growth. I experienced different types of abuse while I was growing. But there is something inside of me that will never allow defeat. I attended medical college. My GSS 1, I attended Legacy then. It's not a school that is now, it has actually followed. But Victory College is a school that it has, produces too many giants. The likes of even the founder of BOFOAT, the likes of people like the Letidiola, the likes of people like the king of the career, and the light. Now, I want to share something with you. The dream that you conceive now, if you fail to wake up and step out, it will remain a dream. And at the end of the day, it's going to make you to be a daydreamer. While I was in your stage, some of my friends used to make jest of me. They see me as somebody who's actually suffering from psychological disorder because I do things abnormal. Yeah. But I can assure you, I have too many brilliant people in my class. Yes. Teachers will ask me to stand up that I did a particular test, I will be flogged. But there is something inside of me that will continue to speak to me that I am better than even the best in the class. As I was growing, when I was privileged by grace to encounter Jesus, then everything about me changed. I can assure you, as I'm talking to you now, I have been reading for more than 10 years. I have been reading about John C. Maxwell. To any of you who are conversant with leader and leadership all over the whole world, I can assure you that presently the greatest renowned leader in the whole world is John C. Maxwell. You can get home and Google. I never knew that I would be able or privileged to stay cordial with his team. The day I met this woman, it was, she sent me a friend request for you to know. It's not as if I searched for them. I am here in a career and they send me requests. Virtually all of them that we have been engaging together, they keep sending me requests. And in one way or the other, each of them keep recommending me to each other. The Queen says something that majority of you may not really capture. The place of getting to know yourself, self-realization, having godly character. Some of you now, your charisma is speaking or is outrunning your character. You won't go far. I can assure you. I think I was sharing with Danny yesterday, talking at the night after school. Was it the day before yesterday? I was talking to them about the difference between
charisma, and character. Your charisma will attract men to you. Your character will attract God to you. And once you are able to make a balance, you are charismatic with godly character. Then God will always make you stay connected to people that truly matters and men who matters. That will make your matter to matter. Majority of you are still seeing yourself as youngsters and you keep jumping from pillar to pole. You don't really know what it means to be a leader. Leadership has to do with calling. You must be called to be a leader. You can't force yourself to be a leader. And when you are ruling or you are kind of leading people, you don't try to manipulate or seduce them. You must definitely lead people by inspiration. You must learn how to motivate people. You know, if we try to make this type of training to be within the school environment, sincerely speaking, I can tell you it will lose taste to some extent. And anywhere you are, take this home. When you are afraid to be a leader, you will definitely be judged with the commoners. I mean the ordinary persons. Actually, there is no ordinary person, but we still have some people who are VIPs. Now, why is it that, assuming that anything positive is coming now, which I believe we still have more, okay, probably we receive the message, like those set of students that we were able to engage a few months ago, can we have like 5 or 10 of them to come to US to attend a particular seminar? Then what do you expect? Do you expect us to judge you by your character or by your charisma? It is your character, not even how intellectual you are. We don't care about that. We have too many people with PhDs who are professors, but the character they lack. It's just like when you have a good vehicle with sound engine with 4 flat tires, they're going away. They're going away. I can assure you. That's why this generation we are now is highly competitive. You will see people, they will begin to tell you, well, I'm not brilliant than that guy, but he was meant to be the leader. There is nothing you can do about it. Why does not even have WAEC? But that is what we call leadership. But some people stood and they tried to put their voices together to push it into the direction where it's functional. So where is now the knowledge of the wise? It's not by knowledge alone, it's not by you acquiring certificate and the like. Learn how to do things in unique ways. Learn how to do things accurately, and you must just be wise. Character. Don't try to negotiate with anybody. I tell you, as I'm talking to you, if I want to leave this country, this is not as if I'm trying to flatter you. I have never in my life woke up in a day and see myself working for a white man. It's never part of my configuration. 2016, I received an invitation to come to Australia. I abandoned it. It's still inside my email. I said, what am I going to Australia to do? I'll get to Australia. I'll be the one to pay my bills. I'll be the one to pay money. And I don't have the strength to be somebody's servant or slave. But there is something inside of me. I was running all around to become great. Because whether you like it or not, there are 2 things that every reasonable man must work after. Number 1, everybody desires to have power. Number 2, every sensible, reasonable person desires greatness. If you are a part of the person that will not desire these 2 things, then something is wrong with you. I tell you, greatness and power it has always been the task of every reasonable human being. But I can assure you this is the good news. These 2 fundamentals, greatness, power, is inside of you. Let me add this up with it. everything you want to become. The future you are running after to become. Some of you think the future is years to come. I'll tell you, the future is here, not just here. The future of what you want to become is inside of you. You don't run out to become it. You grow up to become it. The more you are growing, the better you have expression to deliver everything inside of you. Some of you think it's until when you get to US, when you get to UK, you will get. I was going through the message of Miles Moron this morning before I got up from bed. Miles Moron said he traveled down to the United Kingdom so many years ago, and he saw a guy. I was almost weeping. He said, I saw a guy from Nigeria with 2 PhDs. A PhD in psychology, a PhD in physics. He said, this guy was scrubbing the floor in the hotel. Some of you are happy. My brother, my daddy, my mommy, all of them are in the US. And of course, they will keep sending money to you, and you will be bragging around, trying to prove superiority to your friends. My dad in the US, this wristwatch was sent to me in the US, and unbeknownst to you, listen, there is a demarcation. I tell you, I want to strike a balance now. There is a demarcation between making a life and making a living. If you are growing up, you just want to be a doctor, I just want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, so that I can have a good husband, a good wife, I can ride good vehicles and the lights. That is making a living, not making a life. Making a life will propel you to a platform where you begin to see every ambition of men to be too small to what you desire to become. I woke up this morning seriously. The Holy Spirit told me. He said, I should not try to be in competition with anybody. Because what I want to become, is never what you want to become. So I can never be jealous of you. You want to be a lawyer, it's good for you. You want to be a pharmacist, it's good for you. You want to be a doctor, it's good for you. I don't care about what you want to become. Sincerely speaking, is the same realization. I look at the office of the president of this nation, and I said to myself, the office of the Nigerian president is too small to what I want to become. I tell you, that is the mindset that I woke up with. And you can't tell me it's impossible. Why? I'm growing up and developing myself by the grace of God to become that. We have people in the country that the president must look up to and consult. At that point of time, you're going to deliver a lecture of 2 hours. You can be paid 500 millionaire. I think some of you were able to overheard me when I was mentioning that some of the people that we were expecting. I mentioned particularly the other time to Sherry. Let me tell you, this woman put a call to me some few weeks ago. She said, David, you need to grow up and you need to be wiser than before. I said, okay, I'm with you. What do you think I should do? She advised me. She said, some months ago, she stayed connected because that woman happened to be a global consultant. They travel. What is woman you are saying? You heard her say she has been to Akwa Ibom and some other part of the world. And when you see them traveling, sincerely speaking, they are always in the first class. So first class in the plane is not for the commoners. A first class is a place inside, is a section inside the aircraft where you are only permitted to stay connected to people that matter. You can't even know when they are stepping inside the plane. So this set of people are not, I can assure you, this set of people, I told you some few days ago, I said if we are supposed to pay them money, BOFOAT cannot afford to pay them for this free speech. But when we met, I was sharing something about communication. You must learn how to relate with people. I sent them a message. Immediately she sent me a friend request. I later sent her a message, and I made her realize that, man, I am not the type of person that desire to be crowded with friends. I don't have it. I don't have them, brother. I said any person that I'm going to meet or stay connected with, there must be people that have value. So once I realized that your container is full of value and virtues, I don't care. I will be the one to propose friendship to you. And that's how it's supposed to be. Some of you now, you don't know leadership. You don't know what it means. Leadership. For you to be able to step out and tell generations, this is what you should do. And before, no one leads when no one follows. You are permitted, you can laugh, you can seriously, it's allowed. But do it reasonably and sensibly. Young people, I can remember many years ago when I was in BOFOAT 2017. And I think this is 2021 now. Some few years ago. There's something inside of me that the opportunity that I lacked. No, I'm too pragmatic. I said, like any generation, I've made up my mind there is no person on this earth that will cross my path and remain the same. You may not believe what I'm saying. That's why I choose people that will relate together. So count it all joy. Count it all joy. In few years to come, count it all joy. In few years to come, everything you desire to become, the future time will be the judge. Some of you want to be okay. I'm brilliant. I happen to be. This is a challenge to the head boy and the head girl. I need to make this very, very radical now and sober. This is sober truth. The head boy, the head girl, and all of you are leaders. Yeah. And let me now spot something for you. Sincerely speaking. I came up with that policy that's going to be the license. It's actually to test some things. It's called evaluation. I will still have my own time to go through, sincerely speaking, to that particular person at that point in time, either is looking for some relationship. All of you must work together as one. There's something in project management, we call it cross-functional leadership. Yes, cross-functional. You must learn how to consult one another. But this is his nature. So he can never be punished for that. He must actually express his mindset. You will tear it, and when you now get there, you'll be like, this is myself. You will now start fighting back. It's because you lack the proper understanding of what that certificate is. If you're able to know, you will know that this certificate is not a common thing for you just to play around. And that's how life is about. As you guys will be going back, the head boy, assistant head boy, the head girl, assistant head girl, the special duties, head prefect, and the last. Try as much as possible. Engage yourself in what we call mental introspection. Sit down and examine your thoughts. Like, talk to yourself. I must be a different being. Like, what is that thing that no senior has ever in the history of BOFOAT established? Then try to innovate it. It's not going to be a waste. In few months, those of you necessarily, you'll be out of this school. Now, some of you want to gain that freedom. You get out there, you now realize that at every point in time, there is nothing like freedom on it. You pay for everything. Some of you, your parents are like, oh, Ejama manage. That's the slogan for you. Ejama manage. Oh, want to go school. To buy to go school. If you go teach it on Atini, it's because your water is too much. That's the interpretation. I tell you, some their parents will be happy. Hello, one out. Some their parents will be happy like Thomas Atinibe, want to go wait, somebody is sleeping. You would want to say something that has to do with the weakness of another person, just try to understand. Because everything has been documented and we don't know. Those people that are privileged to watch it. Now watch out. Some people will be like, when a particular guy is growing up, and they are able to see with him a beautiful girl, they will just call him. They will call the girl. What? They did not know you. I'm telling you that the generation where we are. Why? They realize that this guy, anytime they see a year with that one. So they want to see his seed. So that by the time they will lose him, the family will not be at loss. Because they have been able to predict his destiny. Like this one is just living without a purpose. He will still die. They will now desire him to quickly impregnate a girl. So that even when he's going to die, the seed will speak after. Young people, don't ever underestimate the power of knowledge. The power of knowledge. I told the vice principal this morning, and I said, and somebody said, no, I think, yeah, I told him, I said, in the course of our training, I said some of them will miss, they will miss some particular period in class. And that's how it's supposed to be for every leader. Sorry. That's how it's supposed to be. But now let me now tell you how to beat that time. Or that particular challenge. Hello, you are increasing this thing. Let them put it up. No. Next time you don't touch it, go and call them. Come on. They will show you. Why you sit down and they really want to pray for you? Just go outside and call them to come and pray. Well, I just experienced, okay. I almost experienced a lapse of memory just now. Don't ever underestimate the power of knowledge. And as a leader, you must learn to cover up time. Now, you must learn how to read ahead of others. I told the VP, I said, all of you are elected. I said, if your normal colleagues, if they are reading for 2 hours, I see no reason why you as a leader should not read for 5 hours. By the time you are being called on to execute a particular project on behalf of the school, some people will be rejoicing that thank God, he or she does not really acquire the knowledge you have been able to acquire. And now that you are back, just let me have the notes. You copied it. As you copy, you try to bury yourself inside of it, and you acquire new knowledge. Every time, create a time for yourself. Create a time for yourself to go extra miles. So I think you're okay now. No, to go extra miles. I use the word extra. Seriously, sleep is good. Sleep is very good. But how many of you believe that there's a difference between a life of leisure and a life of pleasure? Because you will still have enough sleep inside the grave. It's a law of life. Now watch out. Yeah. It's a law of life. I'm going to play a video for us. It was I watched it this morning. Miles Moron. He said that about time management, and it's going to be a part of what I'll stick with. We just have like maybe 7-minute video, and another one maybe 11-minute video. Then before we engage ourselves in an interactive section, and we are done. But let me assure you, as I'm talking to you now, you may not believe it. I am already fulfilling destiny. Some of you may not know. I'm already because this has been a part of the joy that I conceive within. My ability to push people forward, and once I'm done, I move on to the next step or the next stage of life. But how will you decide? How will you guys decide to now give your time to sleep, to give your time to pleasure, to give your time to unprepared relationship? When people are talking to you as a leader in BOFOAT, here in BOFOAT, when your tutors, your teachers and the like, when they are, each time they are seeing your face, that means I want it to be each time I set my eyes at you. I want to see that which you desire to become written boldly upon your forehead. It is very possible. And how do you do that? I will tell you. I talked about character. The other thing is your ability to express accurate knowledge. Once people realize that you are being serious, if we are friends, take for instance, we have been moving together and I desire to cut you off without embarrassing you, I know what to do. You won't be embarrassed. Each time you are coming to disturb me, I will bring out my mathematics, solving algebra. And once you come around, talk about what I do. I won't even talk. I will just, there are ways you relate with people who cannot speak. And by the time I try that with you 2 or 3 times, can I assure you? That's what we call telepathy in psychology. Your ability to communicate with people's mind without even being verbal. You are supposed to grow to that level. You are not too young. You are not too young. So, we want you guys before you exodus out of BOFOAT to try as much as possible in that office of yours, head boy. Check around. Work with every elected prefect. Get to know what they are all doing. You must keep your hands dirty. Some of you, your hands are always in the pocket. You know what it means. You can't go far when you always have your hands in the pocket. You can't go far. Try to always engage yourself in activities that will be beneficial. The assistant head boy, it is a razzmatazz when we are being told like the assistant is always being useful when the head boy is not around. You are going nowhere. So don't think you can only act when this guy is not on ground. Yours is, and how many of you believe that it's not as if the head boy is the spirit. This team is what we call leadership. And that's why we try to bring you out and carve you out amidst others. So it's not as if it's just for him to be a kind of an overseer. I was discussing with Milton this morning and we were talking and she belongs to, her portfolio is the special duties. And seriously, I was like, special duties. This is a very sensitive office. It's more or less, the office more or less, in the mature setup you call them strategists. They can learn to implement, they can begin to, they are very innovative, creative in nature, and especially listen, as he is, he's still part of that laugh. I expect him to stand up and read it very well. You know, don't try to code laughing. If you want to laugh. Don't code it. Hello? Can somebody give her a microphone so that we can hear the sound of it? Those ones that, I'm a psychologist, those ones that always laugh and smile always, they are more beautiful and handsome than the body ones. No, you can judge for yourself now. Serious. Those ones who always smile. I'm just giving you a cue. Serious. If you can always place your hairstyle on time, the boys among you, you can always have a very nice shape on time. It makes you look younger than your age. Why we have some people, they are always been older than their age. Even to relate with them, you are afraid. They are your mates, but at times you can be calling them bros. We have some of them, you know yourself. So, I want this section to be an interactive section now. Where's that my phone? So now, this is what we want to do. This is a fraternity. And fraternity does not have anything to do with evil. Anything that is being fraternal, it has to do with brotherhood. It has to do with unity. I want you to, in one way or the other, I want you to be bold. I want some selected few ones among you now to be prescribed. Even before I try to evaluate the proposal you have submitted. And seriously, when I tell you I want to do something, I will do it. Except if I'm not interested. When I tell you by God's grace that, see, young guys, if you guys can just cooperate with me in the next few months before you exit out of this school, we are going to so place. Don't doubt my word. You will get it. Thank you. You're actually celebrating yourself. I know that, seriously. It's not an embarrassment. I try to correct that notion. You know, sometimes you just feel like, you must say, if you fail to celebrate yourself, nobody will let you celebrate you. Now, what I need from you guys is number one, your cooperation. Leave the rest. Once we are able to understand ourselves, I use the word factor. Once we are able to understand ourselves, what's up? Those of you who know me very well, I don't. Sometimes I disguise to people. If I want you to dislike me, I know the particular clothes I can put on. And I will get to a particular party. And nobody will even walk up to me to ask me, bro, said you're from Ado. I've been to many parties. I will get there and people will be like, bro, said you're from Ado. Okay. So the next time I'm going to another place, I will disguise. Even when they are requesting money from anybody, I don't need to. Now, you must learn how to be tactical about that. It's part of the act of leadership. Now, this is the cooperation I need from your part. I want you guys to make BOFOAT a great institution before you exercise out. And how do we do that? Some are distracting us. And thank God for that beautiful answer that your tongue was able to prescribe the other time. And you know, I was a bit disappointed. Virtually with more than 90% of you. Why? I keep saying it. It's too late for you to get yourself prepared when opportunity comes. You are always supposed to be on the go. Can you prescribe to us principles? And you think in this type of program, next time, in one or two areas that you believe that we can actually improve for the benefit of the students?
So you said it all. And what you said improving on our character, attitude, charisma, and what you can do to improve this program, right?
Yeah.
And instilling in ourselves good morals and behaviors, and doing things like serving as a good role models for others to follow, because it's not making sense for us to be doing something that is not right and be allowed and be expecting others. We just follow the lead. So, taking a look on ourselves before judging others, and the thing is doing the right thing at the right time, because you not doing the right thing at the right time, people just this kind of person is not serious. You just take you as not being serious. So doing the right thing at the right time will really help us to achieve our various dreams and goals. And I think we should create more seminars before the real events can take place. Because creating more seminars will really give people the how would I put it? The idea of what becoming a leader, the risk, what you are going to put in place before becoming a leader. And if we join hands together with my fellow students, we join hands together, we can achieve the school dreams, taking the school to greater heights. And we can serve as a good role model to our various juniors. And I really hope the school management can read our proposals and make sure all our dreams we're taking the school to a greater heights function.
The second question, the director actually asked me to create this section. Yeah, I need to, so that you know it's important for us to be well and well composed. I think 4 more speakers are going to talk. That means get yourself prepared, Valentine yourself prepared, Johnny, get yourself prepared, and I'll look for a new to give us a summary of what Dr. Anita is. Yes? We have it. Okay, we can even have more than one speaker. Okay, 60 seconds. Shall break it. You're coming up after.
Give us a speech on not competing on others, but competing with yourself. And give us the ABC of life.
Okay. I'm going to score you average. Chopper.
And I also learned from today's seminar that the only thing that can limit you is you, yourself. And the person you should compete with is who you were yesterday. And you will always try to be a better version of yourself. And also she gave us A to Z of steps to succeed in our life. And I think following these steps is going to take us to better heights. And being a good leader is going to take us far. So we have to follow everything that we have here.
I love that. Brilliant. Thank you. And okay, Valentine, yeah, boy, I want to give him the opportunity to speak.
What I heard before saying this, there's a quotation that said that education, the root of education is good, but the fruit is good. And one lesson I have to take out from there is opportunity. Opportunity only comes to once. But we need to use it wisely, because once it's lost, we can't regain it again. And also integrity. We also have to do the right thing, even though nobody is in the game, or people are there. We also need to do the right thing as a leader, because it's how we lead, it's our character that leads the people. The situation in Nigeria is because our leaders are doing wrong, and we to the citizen.
1 minute is almost gone. 1 minute is almost gone. You have just 60 seconds.
So, for Nigeria to have a good leader again, at least it's in the hands of the citizens. Because we are the one who put them there. So, as a leader, we should know our rules, our promises during the manifesto before we are elected. So, as a leader, we should not use our power to oppress the nation.
Okay. Can you give to this member of the SRC before that meeting? It's good. This thing is under documentation. And the question I'm going to ask the FDA is actually different from this. And the question I'm going to ask the S4 is very different also. Okay, what do you have to say? 60 seconds. Come again.
What I learned today about this.
We need to use this.
What I learned today about this translation was everybody should have a dream and remembrance. That you should not compete with any other person except with yourself, who you are today and who you are yesterday. And she also gave us a step before so that we can be a successful person.
Represent to and start a good ambassador of global movement.
Senior Gami. Wait, I want to ask you a totally different question. How do you think you can actually make BOFOAT Model International College a pride, like, in what way can you make this school to be proud of you? I want to hear you speak for 60 seconds.
I wouldn't be afraid of what I know and what is in me. I'll be bold and I'll be always ready to bring it out what I have for the school. And in anywhere I am, I'll be like, I will have the kind of readiness to always bring it out and share it with other people.
I love that. I love that. Can you give the mic to Tolani?
What I want to say about what Dr. Anita has spoken about today is the attitude of being kind. Let us be kind, because the more compassion you show to people, get back at you. And I also love about the resilience. Anything that happens to you, be able to bounce back. Don't let it wear you down. Don't let it wear your soul down. And don't feel inferior to others. Let us feel that we can do what God.
Okay, that's courage. I love that. Courageous. Alright, Kofo.
What I learned is that life is by chance and not by choice. Your circumstance can be.
It's by choice.
It's by chance. But not by choice. By choice, but not by chance. And your circumstance can limit you. But you yourself are the one that can limit yourself. Then set your goal, be determined, have hope and faith, and go for it.
I think if you don't go back to the past, you won't understand the future. I mean, if you don't think about the past, all those things you've gone through in the past, the experiences, the knowledge you've acquired, you'll be able to acquire it if you don't go through it. I mean, like if you want to grow further or you want to become better in the past, you need to know the past first. So if you get back to the past, then you can move forward to the future.
I love that. That's what we call the gospel in Ghana. Now, can you help us with
Answer the question.
Can you come closer? I think it's because of the standard.
Before I answer the question, I would like to say thank you to the school for this opportunity, and also to you, Mr. Topside, and to Miss and to Dr. Anita. I would like to say a very big thank you, because opportunities like these are rare and hard to find. Firstly, like what I'll try to say and my policies to the girl child would be like towards the school should be that, and the program for the girls should be established. Firstly, to show them the challenges which the girl child will face, and also to teach them how to overcome the challenges. Like, I'm a girl, okay, like I know what I'll be going through. I'm from the opposite sex, harassment, abuses, and also to teach them how to overcome them, what to do to stand your ground. Also, my policy for the girl child in the school would also be to teach them morals. Because as a girl, you need to learn about the laws, like it really matters to a girl's life. So, I would say as a girl, like you have to have morals. Like, okay, Nigeria, we know, and ladies should be able to do some particular things. Like, ladies should be able to do some particular things, like, okay, and you know how to, you have, appear modestly. Like, and you know how to cover up yourself, know how to do things in the right way, and know how to attend to your needs, like your personal hygiene, really matters a lot. Know how to do that, and also close to God. Because in the Bible, just like Esther, and through God, and she was able to attain a greater height, and through them with God. So as a girl, you should be closer to God in all your ways.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, you can celebrate that.
On behalf of the prefects and the Student Representative Council, I really appreciate the school director, the management, and Dr. Anita. I really learned a lot of lessons today. One of the lessons I learned is that you really have to make a difference wherever you are. And you have to do things the way you want, not the way other people want. I really say a big thank you to the director, to the school management, and Dr. Anita. Thank you.
On behalf of all the students which participated in this conference, I say a very big thank you to the school management, the school director, and Dr. Anita for impacting towards this intellectual knowledge, which would help us to build more on our leadership in this country. Thank you.
As one of the prefects of this great institution, I would like to say a big thank you to the school director and the school management for this big opportunity that has been thrown to us. I say a big thank you in behalf of all the prefects of this great institution. Thank you.
I want to appreciate the management of BOFOAT Model International Group of Schools for this leadership training in the building of the 21st century young stars, leaders who are going to be emerging and taking charge and changing the school, the community, changing the state and the nation, and also the continent of Africa. And also let me sincerely salute Queen Dr. Anita Davis-Defoe from John C. Maxwell Leadership Team, who is the Executive Director. We want to appreciate you, ma'am, for this great privilege to have you on board. We look forward to welcoming you to Nigeria in a moment from now. Thank you.